Hello everyone, I decided to shoot my videos in English, and in this video I would like to describe ideas that I like in particular from the book written by Napoleon Hill called Think and Grow Rich. Some of you might be familiar with the book. The first in the list of ideas is the idea about knowledge. The author says that we get paid for specialized knowledge, but not for possessing it, but for applying it to solve problems. So the more specialized knowledge you accumulate, the more potential value you get. But the value, the potential value is just that. It's potential. It's not real. So we have to transform it from potential to real. And how to do it? Of course, by by applying all the knowledge and skills that you have to solve real life problems. And that is where the wealth is. That's the way to get wealth, to get rich. As Mr. Napoleon Hill says in his book. That's it, as simple as that. And another point that I found interesting in this book is about positive and negative emotions. So he says that the mind can be occupied only by one type of emotions. It's either positive emotions occupy your mind or negative ones. But they do not happen, they do not occupy the mind at the same time. So one of them has to dominate. And so we have to view our brain as some kind of vessel that can be filled with emotions. And the more positive emotions we have in our brain, the more resistant it becomes to negative emotions. That's it about emotions, and I find it very useful to think of them in such way. So essentially, no mix between positive and negative emotions. So it's just one of them that dominates, and we have to make sure that positive emotions actually dominate rather than negative ones. And then another point that I liked most is the point about criticism. As you know, we're the whole world, and we are all awash in criticism. For example, our children are exposed to criticism at school, and anyone is exposed to it at work. So criticism is everywhere, and especially our relatives are guilty at criticizing us. Anyone can have two roles. Anyone can be a source of criticism. So when we criticize others, or we can be the object of criticism when someone else criticizes us. When we criticize people, we have to realize that criticism rarely works. So it's not really effective. And in my case, I notice it when I criticize my own children. The criticism is seldom effective. So at best they just ignore what we say as parents, or just but they don't respond with aggression, of course, but at best they ignore. So it doesn't lead to results, so they don't change their behavior. So the criticism is not the way, as my experience shows, and the experience of many other parents, I think, will prove that. Criticism, we have to be careful when using criticism and criticizing others. Criticism is seldom effective. And then another point is about criticism is that it's it's not really rare in this world. So when we have too much of criticism, we just add to the great pool of criticism, and we just add our own dose of it. So I think it's pointless to add to that whole ocean of criticism. So it's better to be constructive rather than destructive. Of course, the third point is probably the most important. The most important one is that criticism actually has negative influences and a lot of negative consequences. A lot of negative consequences. It makes, as the author argues in this book, criticism makes people timid, indecisive. It takes away their initiative. So lack of initiative is a consequence, so it makes them less successful in life. Let's be careful when criticizing other people, and especially our children. And also let's guard ourselves against criticism of others. So let's not take it seriously. So the criticism undermines us, but we have to be resistant to it. And the last point is about failures, failure alibis, as Napoleon Hill calls them. So when people fail, they are quick to come up with justifications. Justifications are usually really beautiful and reasonable at first sight, and they sometimes come up with a whole list of justifications. Failure is just that, it's failure, and there is no need for alibis. As the saying goes, where there is a will, there is a way. Let's not let's not spend too much time and energy thinking about justifications for our alibis, and it's better to concentrate our efforts on actually solving the problem. That's the point of it all. Justification is never effective. It never leads to any results. It never leads to solutions to problems. Failure alibis is the last point I would like to mention. So after reading this book, I think that you just come to realize that just how important it is to read such self-help books, and this book is one of the first in the series, and might be the first actually. It was published in 1930s. So I think that's the as they call it, the granddaddy of all self-help books, the mother of all get-rich books. So I strongly recommend reading it and to become successful in life. That's it. These are the great ideas that influenced me in this book.